Ethan here, reporting for duty. The Pokemon world is absolutely massive, with so many different kinds of Pokemon and places to go and see. In this video, I'm going to be ranking my top 10 Pokemon who are over 6 feet tall. This means that one of my favorite Pokemon, Aerodactyl, who's 5 foot 11 inches, won't be on this list, so he'll be our honorable mention. Every Pokemon that's showing on the list right now is eligible to be on this top 10 list, with a few more off this list as well. Also, on a side note, I really hope you guys are doing well during this free time that we have, and that all of your family and friends are safe and sound. And also make sure, keep the 6 feet distance. Make sure to not be at 1 inch short like Aerodactyl is. While looking at the list, obviously Phalanx, however he's pronounced, and Wishiwashi school form won't count because there are multiple Pokemon combined, but not the same Pokemon. Now, without further ado, let's get on to our ranking. So, not even barreling, thrown into number 11 from the Alola region, we got our one and only Alolan Executor, which, in my defense, I didn't really like Cantonian Executor, because he looked so odd. Like he has a big, short, stubby body with like short little legs, and like, I don't know, his 3 heads looked a little odd on his body as well, sort of like they're drunk and stuff. However, when Cantonian Executor got an Alolan form, being Alolan Executor, I fell in love with it. It's so cool. It's super tall with his. So with this new and better Executor, he's like so much taller than Cantonian Executor. He has a tail. He's a dragon type, which doesn't really make sense, but hey, we'll take what we could get. And it absolutely makes sense. In one of the earlier trading card games, in the Pokemon trading card games, the TCG, this form of Executor was actually on one of the decks before, and they just like brought it back and it is mind blowing. So now, after this Alolan Executor mind bomb, we'll be going over to number 10, which I believe is Wailord, the biggest Pokemon of them all, right after the Gigantamax Eternatus? Yes, Gigantamax Eternatus. And geez, I've loved Wailord ever since I saw him in Sinnoh. He was also like really big, of course, that's one of the concepts here. He was like so cool. Like one of my favorite animals was whales, or are whales. And I was like, yes, just what I love. Like, he dwarfs everyone else. And like, at least in Hoenn, it was amazing. One similar Pokemon that I had forgot to mention when going over Wailord was actually Kyogre. Which Kyogre, he's also like really cool as well. Which I think Kyogre and Wailord should be tied. And they practically are tied. Now, on to number 9, also coming from the Hoenn region, but instead of the watery depths of the ocean, now it's on the volcano of Hoenn. And his name is Camerupt. I love Camerupt. He's actually such a cool concept, being a camel like animal, but also having like the humps be the volcanoes on its back. Like, that's so cool. And it's actually a really cool form of his. In the future, could be like a not a steam engine or volcanian, but more like Old Faithful. Sort of like that hot steam coming from the ground. That would be sick. Now, digging his way into number 6, all the way from the Sinnoh region, we have Hippowdon, in which I've always loved hippos and I've always loved Africa. And like, the beach is so nice. So, just having Hippowdon, a hippo, and sand combined, and also to like filter the sand within the inside. Oh geez, that's so cool. And like, fun fact, Dwebbles are actually in the Galadex have been known to hide themselves inside the Hippowdon's like holes. And oh geez, I also love that about Pokemon, where it's like they put one, like they have two species interacting with each other, which is why I also like, it just makes me love Hippowdon even more. Also, I did start with Sinnoh first, so I have a lot of like really nice Sinnoh favorites. Coming into number 7, all the way from the Kanto region, we have one of the fan favorites of the Kanto region, being Venusaur, which is actually one of the larger Pokemon in the Kanto region, and like it shouldn't come to any like explanation to why he's not on the list. He's a Kanto starter. His Mega form looks amazing, and he was in the Kalos region too. So just like being able to play with him in the Kalos region and the Kanto region twice, it really makes you love a Pokemon even more. Stomping their way into number 6, we got Kappa Raja, which is the new Galarian elephant based off of the Indian elephant. Now, what's on the screen is a Phanpy, which stands for what I love, which are like ground like elephants. And like just my favorite types are ground and steel type. Like steel type being one of like the more popular types for me. So just having an elephant become a steel type and actually be really large, like Donphan, I love it so much. But he isn't big, like big old Kappa Raja from the Indian elephant, like from India. And fun fact, Indian elephants are actually smaller than African elephants. The more you know. Now, number 5 shouldn't come as a surprise. As the largest Pokemon in Kanto and Johto, we have the Onyx line, which includes Steelix and to an extent Mega Steelix. And while Mega Steelix isn't my favorite, I've loved Onyx ever since I actually saw the Kanto anime. And even the Johto anime, like when Steelix was introduced, like oh jeez, it's just a special moment when you like see Steelix come out, like in the Johto intro, and he's like so scary, and it's just sick. Coming into the top 4, like I started to have trouble actually ranking each one of these. However, number 4 is slightly easier to get off than number 3, 2, and 1. And number 4 is Auroras from the Kalos region, in which one of my favorite dinosaur species are the sauropods, which sauropods are long-necked dinosaurs, or like brachiosauruses, apatosauruses, supersauruses. They're just amazing creatures. They have such long necks, really long tails. They're like the biggest thing in the prehistoric planet. But that's also why I love Auroras and Amora. Oh, Amora, she's amazing. She's in anime terms, kawaii. But Aurora is just like so elegant with her sails on the back, sort of like looking like the Aurora lights up on the top of like the North Pole sky. and oh, she's just beautiful. So so majestic. These next three come from Sinnoh, and this one shouldn't be too hard. My first game was Pokemon Diamond from Gen 4 Sinnoh. So henceforth, my favorite Pokemon, which is number 3, is Dialga, which he's such a cool Pokemon. He has like the Roar of Time like move, which is super powerful, and single-handedly helped me beat Cynthia in the Elite Four in the champion battle. He was the MVP of the late game, and then Dialga, just being the first game mascot that I actually got, like, it's just amazing to me. Like, my favorite could easily be Palkia or Giratina even, but Dialga is my first legendary I got, so it's Dialga. Now these next two could be easily like switchable, but I'm going to choose my original starter from the Gen 4 games, and it's going to be Torterra. Torterra was like such a cool Pokemon to me when I could have chosen Chimchar, Piplup, or Turtwig. It took me like 15 minutes to decide, but I chose Turtwig because of how like I love four-legged creatures that like grow up into something really big and large. And Torterra is a gentle giant. I also love the fact that he like helps other Pokemon with his tree and the Pokédex entries, being like he gives them housing and shelter. On top of that, according to Sinnoh theory, he's also the turtle or the thing that holds the world together, and the world's just on his back. Talk about the continent Pokemon being that cool. Now, on to the number one of my most favorite Pokemon, who's above 6 feet tall. And this Pokemon is Mamoswine. I love elephants. I love mammoths. Pigs are like they're great too. And I love Mamoswine because of that. Back in Johto and like when I was a kid, I played Pokemon Stadium too. Swinub and Piloswine, I actually really loved them, but like I was also playing the Sinnoh games at the time, so when I found out that they had an evolution being Mamoswine and Sinnoh, it blew my mind. I really loved Mamoswine, and I always wanted to use it on my team in a Pokemon game, preferably Diamond, and that's what I did. This past year, I started another Sinnoh team with Torterra and Mamoswine, and Dialga at the very end as well, using my top 3 Pokemon in the Elite Four and Champion battle, and this was legendary. Just Mamoswine is such a cool Pokemon, especially with the Ice typing too. It's not great competitively, but the ground typing is. So Mamoswine is underrated, but with enough practice, I know that he'll be really good in the future, and I hope you guys think so too. So, this is the end of my top 10 list. I hope that you guys found it enjoyable, and I hope you guys leave a like, subscribe, and comment positivity and constructive criticism. This being my first actually edited video, it's like, it's bearable, it's doable. In the future, I hope I get way better at it. But at this point, I'm all for learning. And during this quarantine, we all need to be here for each other. So I'm here to make content for me, but also for you as well. Also, as a bit of an epilogue, I sort of made this on Filmora, which I didn't know would have the logo on here, so I won't be using Filmora anymore. Or at least, I probably won't be. And I'll be trying to like find new ways to make videos better. So, from the bottom of my heart, Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Salutations. Stay safe, and also stay 6 feet apart, or otherwise known as an Aerodactyl with an inch.